Cale MacDonald is a detective with one foot in the real world and one in the world of darkness. For Cal, the horrors we all dream about in our nightmares are all too real, kept at bay through an almost constant influx of drugs to numb the pain, but never erase it. Cut from the same mold as super detectives like Sam Spade and Jake Gittes, Cal MacDonald, whether he likes it or not, is all that stands between us and the nightmare world just outside our vision. Blah, 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 blah. To all you listers out there, Mr. X delivering some spooky tidings for this Halloween season during this episode of Discoveries and Revisits. I am revisiting Criminal Macabre. Released by Dark Horse Comics in 2003, Criminal Macabre is written by Steve Niles with art by the incredible Ben Templesmith. Criminal Macabre is the creation of Steve Niles, who you may know as the writer of 30 Days of Night and a whole bunch of other great horror stuffs. Now, for the most part, before this miniseries, Cal MacDonald existed in prose and in very small vignettes in anthology comics. It wasn't until 2003 when Steve Niles partnered with Dark Horse to do this first miniseries to really shine the spotlight on Cal MacDonald. I was introduced to this book by Dr. Impact a long time ago, back when he was actually living in LA. He actually met Steve Niles at a convention, and that's how he discovered the book. And then of course, he phones me and said, dude, you're going to love this. You have to check it out. And of course, he was right, and I did. And ever since then, I have been picking up anything Cal MacDonald related. It's not necessarily an ongoing book. It isn't. It's never been an ongoing series. But it is a series of mini-series, starting with just Criminal Macabre. Now, Cal MacDonald is your hard-boiled, gritty, crime noir detective. Only the things that he deals with is all horror-based. Vampires? Yep. Werewolves? Uh-huh. Ghouls? Well, that's actually his partner. He has a sidekick that is a ghoul named Moloch. You gotta have a straight man for a guy that is so out there wacky like Cal MacDonald, because let's face it, this guy is an alcoholic and a pill popper to the extreme. Sometimes he's popping pills, he doesn't even know what they are. He just needs to feel level, because the amount of horrific stuff that bombards him constantly with every case that he takes has messed him up here. And I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy the character, because he is no nonsense. It's like, listen, I know you're living in a world where you feel like, yeah, everything's wine and roses, but it's dark. There's dark stuff out there that wants to eat you, and I know about it, and you're an idiot for not realizing what's out there. For anybody who is a horror junkie like I am, this book is perfect, and it's one part of the writing. Steve Niles is an excellent writer. He is one of the few writers out there right now that works in both prose and comic mediums that I love, because he is kind of a renaissance man when it comes to bringing horror back to comics. Him and Cullen Bunn. More on Cullen in a future episode. But the art is what grabs you where this first miniseries is concerned. The art from Ben Templesmith. It makes you feel dirty in a way to where it's not that the art style is messy. The art style is so gritty that you feel like you're a fly on a wall in this world, and this world is just covered in a layer of grime. And Templesmith's art really focuses that. And I feel that it gives the story a whole nother level. So if you're a fan of horror comics in general, but enjoy also crime/detective stories, Criminal Macabre it's you can't pass it up. Along with the majority of the continuing series. There's not a lot of bad things that I could actually say about Criminal Macabre, Cal McDonald, or the creative forces behind them. Now, if you want to hear me and the rest of the geeks from my Big Fat Pull List talk about Cal McDonald and other characters from horror comics, there's a great podcast episode that we did, 10 Key Characters from Horror Comics. There will be a link in the description to this video down below so that you can check that out if you want to learn more about Cal McDonald or any of the other characters that we here at my Big Fat Pull List think are awesome from horror comics. Well, that does it, folks. That's my revisit to Criminal Macabre. And I had so much fun with this revisit, I plan on revisiting the rest of the series. They've produced more miniseries and one-shots, and I can't wait to dive back into all of those, especially now during this holiday season. So, stay spooky, folks, and if you're a fan of Criminal Macabre, let me know your thoughts. And if you don't like horror stuff, what are you doing with your life?
Well, folks, that's our show. We hope you liked it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the My Big Fat Pull List YouTube channel so you don't miss another episode of one of our shows.
And don't forget, we have a podcast. Make sure you head on over and search out My Big Fat Pull List podcast on any one of your podcast listening platforms.
And help us keep the lights on by heading on over to www.patreon.com/My Big Fat Pull List. And you'll know that you can get any one of these amazing shirts right there.
Also, hit us up on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.